Before becoming a mom, I thought the hardest thing would be sleepless nights, but the hardest thing is actually the mental workload that comes with motherhood. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah, and I hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'll be sharing how I balance taking care of my child, creating content, as well as changing career without feeling burnt out. Firstly, I would like to say the mom's brain is real, okay? And why it is called the mom brain is basically like your brain is overloaded, whereby simple things you forget. So, like, you drop something somewhere and you're like, where did I put that? Especially when my child was born, it was like, oh, what time did he eat? Do I need to feed him now? Oh, he's nappy and stuff like that. Everything can be too much. What is mental workload? According to Google, it's the amount of cognitive resources such as attention, memory, and information processing that an individual must allocate to meet the demands of a specific task. If you're watching this video, then you're probably a mom, and in this situation, the task is taking care of a child as well as taking care of yourself. In my situation, I am the main carer of my child, which means my child lives with me. And a little backstory: when my child was born, for the first three, almost 4 months, I was living with my parents, but once it was 4 months, I was living alone, and that was when I basically faced the full mental workload of what it meant to, keep him healthy, keep him fed, keep him baited, keep his laundry clean, keep my laundry clean, keep the house clean, keep myself fed. There was just a lot, and genuinely I was feeling burnt out. I was feeling tired, and so I decided to make a routine that works for I and my son, and a routine that also makes sure that I am being taken care of and my career is not being pushed away. The first thing I did to reduce my burnt out is to create a daily plan. A daily plan involves writing down every single thing you do every day. For example, I wake up, do my morning prayer, read my book, change my child's nappy, exercise, drink ginger shot, do stomach vacuum. Everything I wrote it down, and I wrote this down because I realized that each morning I would literally wake up and I already feel like I feel overwhelmed because I'm trying to think, what am I meant to do? Oh, I'm meant to brush his teeth. Oh, I'm meant to do this. Oh, I haven't done a nappy dry. Oh, I haven't taken my ginger shot. Oh, I haven't done this. And to prevent that, to prevent, like, I basically was like a wrecking, or what's the word? What's the word? I was basically just dragging myself like, what am I meant to do? What am I meant to do? To prevent all that, I basically wrote down everything and created a checklist which I take off. So that way I don't have to remember anything and there is nothing in my brain to think of because I've written each step down. Therefore, if I feel like I'm forgetting something, I would just look at that daily plan and then I'll be like, oh yeah, you're meant to do this. And then that tremendously reduced how much thinking I had to do in the morning. So I know it may seem ridiculous to write every single thing you do, but it is really helpful because then you don't forget anything, and you're rest assured that you don't have to think about anything because you've already listed it down. All you have to do is check a piece of paper, and that is it. You can remember what you were meant to do. The next thing I did was to create a weekly plan. So a weekly plan involved: what day am I doing his laundry? What day am I doing my laundry? What day am I buying groceries? What day am I preparing my groceries? Because I do a meal prep. I don't know. I feel like this is also another tip. I do my meal prep on one day, and then I eat. I basically just warm up my food all through the week. And when do I cut his nails? Oh my gosh, that thing used to give me headache because it felt like every 2 3 days his nails would grow again, and I'm like, how am I not able to keep track of this? Or when I look at his laundry and see a pile of clothes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't washed his clothes. So just making a weekly plan really helped me to know that on Tuesdays we give him a shower with soap. On this day we do this. On this day we go to rhyme class. On that day I do this for myself. Also, I basically made a weekly plan and kind of like a monthly plan for myself. So, like, when do I shave my face? When do I shave my body? When do I wear a clay mask? All those type of things. I wrote it, and I made sure when I was making the weekly plan, I don't pile up a lot of things on one day. So you have to free up space. So you don't just put like five things, I'm going to do this and do this, especially because by now you likely know what your daily work is. So you also know what you can take on each day. So, for example, on the day I am going for his rhyme class, ideally I put very simple tasks like washing his clothes, because that I can just put in the washing machine and go do something else, or basically rest. I also do groceries on that day because I'm out of the house already. So get groceries, go to his rhyme class, come back home. So when you match things like that, then you are able to basically lessen your workload. And I just wanted to say that you don't have to be a mom to use these tips, because these are tips that I used in uni to basically to reduce my workload. And for some reason, I actually forgot about them. And then I remembered on one day, and I was just like, let me sit down and write everything down that I do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and that tremendously helped me. And the truth is that when it comes to making the weekly plan and the daily plan, sometimes, because some things pop up sometimes. My baby doesn't sleep well at night, meaning I've had less sleep, meaning I'm not able to do what I normally would do on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. I basically move it to the next day because I cannot come again myself, okay? I can't be burnt out. I can remember one of the things when I was moving to my own place was my mom told me, Mariah, you are living alone now. Do not push yourself to your limit where you're burnt out. And when you begin to nag at your child, where it's like you're so basically you're tired, you're irritated, so anything they do, you just pack up. I make sure I don't reach that limit. Once I feel myself getting to that point, I just keep quiet and take a break. Another thing is creating a shopping list. Just like you make a food, I make a food timetable for me, because I feel like, and I think you should also make a food timetable, because it takes away, oh, what do we eat this week? So I make a food timetable for what I'm going to eat for that week. My son is not fully eating solids now, is still plain basically. So when he starts eating solids, it would have to be like what he eats would have to match up with what I eat. But for now, I make food timetable and I save that food timetable, because in 2 weeks I may want to eat what I ate in week one, so I don't have to think of another food timetable. Leading on to shopping list, you make a shopping list from your food timetable. That way when you go into the store, you're not looking like a confused human being, and you're not like, oh, what am I meant to get? You don't forget the milk, you don't forget the butter, because you have a shopping list. Another important thing that I feel like I forgot to do was taking time out for myself. So I live with my child basically 7 days a week, 24 hours. However, I don't leave him. So, like, there are times where he takes a nap, and sometimes I'm awake doing work. Or so now that I think about it, I think I rarely actually watch movies. Like, sometimes I consciously have to do that. Like, Mariah, enjoy a movie. So, taking time out could be like leaving him in the room and just coming to the living room just by myself for 10 minutes. And I realized that once I started doing that, taking that time out for myself, it helped me tremendously, because it's not every time I have someone coming in my house visiting or helping me out with him. So I spend the majority of my time with him. That means sometimes I don't have time to go out of the house and just have space away from him. So when I have back to back time with him, I just make sure to take 10 minutes just in the living room, probably on social media, probably watching something, probably just closing my eyes and just mentally disconnecting from him, because I know he's safe. And if you have someone there to help you, another thing I do is I get out of the house. Literally, I could go to a cafe and get ice cream or something, just sit down, do something, but I just need that time away from him. And it's just like a me time where I don't have to worry about you, when I know you're safe and sound wherever you are and whoever you'll be. One thing that has helped me is also screen time. So, screen time on social media. I've realized that unfortunately during postpartum, I got too used to doing scrolling, and sometimes I do it subconsciously. So, I'm not even watching the videos, I'm just like scroll, look at it for 2 seconds, scroll. And when I do that, I realize that I'm putting my attention on that, and it just feels like when there's too much, like I'm looking at something, I am listening to something, I'm most likely breastfeeding at that point, it feels too much. So at that point, I shut my phone off, and I also do screen time. So it's like when I've used that screen time, if I don't have to be on social media, I don't go on it. And that just helps me to, bring some calmness to my brain. It's like, rest, baby girl, rest, rest ahead. Create time to do what you love. So for me, one of the things I love is singing. So, I do singing classes. And of course, this is where you ask someone for help because I have to leave the house. And just having that time in a week or two, once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks, just helps me feel like myself, where it's like I'm not just mothering every day. I'm not just giving to him. I'm also giving back to myself and doing something I actually love and enjoy. Another fun thing to do is also play music in the background while you're doing chores, while you're doing something, or while you're even playing with your child. For some reason, I don't like silence. I find it uncomfortable. So I'm usually either playing the music or playing one of his toy sound. And I feel like music helps you to just enjoy whatever you're doing a little bit more. So I could be washing plates and I'm playing music and I'm dancing. That is helping me just, move my body and feel happy about whatever I'm doing. When it comes to content creation, how I balance that with motherhood is basically doing a batch. So like today it is currently 10:38. I have been making content this past one, okay? I am exhausted, but I know that today is for content creation. I also plan my content creation like one day, or I could break it down in several days. Where I think of an idea, look for how to edit it, and then shop for the clothes and things like that. So knowing what day is specific for a particular task is really helpful. When it comes to my career, one thing I do, like I said in my former video, tech is something I'm now looking into going into. So coding, specifically software engineering. So I spend like 25 minutes to code every day. And at first I used to say that was little. Shout out to ChatGPT, because I basically was just like, how can I have a lot of things to do, how can I do this? And it basically just suggested doing it 25 minutes a day is better than trying to find an hour block. So if there is something that you want to do and you're passionate about, but it's like, oh, I need 1 hour or I need 45 minutes, I would say break it down into like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because at the end of the day, if you calculate 25 minutes for 5 days or 7 days a week, if you're able to do that, that's better than doing an hour every 3 days or every 4 days. I really don't understand why we weren't taught all these things in school, like home economics. Please, I'm not sewing any dress right now. You should have been teaching me how to balance motherhood with pursuing my career with my life, because at the end of the day, most mothers are actually the main carer. So even if you're in a couple or whatever, the mother is the one that takes most of the weight when it comes to parenting. So it's just like a little advice would have been nice. Huh? And lastly, if you're a mother and you have tips on how you're able to manage your mental overload, and I haven't mentioned them, please put it in the comment section. I beg you. Let me also learn. I need to learn. Let us all learn from each other, okay? Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took one or two things that you could actually use. I just want to also say that you're doing amazing. If you're a mother, if you're not a mother, you're doing amazing, because I've suddenly realized that life is not easy. But we have to keep ourselves happy, okay? So, I hope today would lessen your mental workload so that you can be happier, so you can have space to actually think about things you want, things you enjoy. And yeah, have a blessed week, everyone. Bye.